everybody, it's Romania Black, and these volumes are a fun time, aren't they? So yeah, we're on volume 29 of Attack on Titan, and we have 4 volumes to go until I'm going to watch the final parts of the anime. Isn't that great? And man, Isayama is just getting to the heart of this entire argument about the cycle of violence, about what it means to communicate with one another, to create understanding, and what happens if you don't do that, and how it's bad. So I've been kind of dreading this part of the journey with the manga because, you know, as we first explored Eren, like leading up to season 3, it was all about Eren's character being broken down and getting expanded upon and realizing, you know, what has made Eren the way that he is. And there's still lots of factors left to go with that question in these volumes to come. But I feel like the comments for the most part were pretty tame. Nobody really got outright being like, oh, Eren. And then in the last couple of volumes, it's like a switch flipped. And the moment that Eren starts making these decisions that we can say are either good or bad, it's like just the denizens crawled out of the woodwork and were like, you're against Eren? And I was like, I've been against Eren for like 3 years. Only 2 at this point, but still. And it's not really that I'm against Eren. I understand his character, and I really appreciate the manga delving more into why he is the way that he is. I appreciate that. I understand Eren's character. I think he's a well-written character. He's one of the more well-written protagonists of a manga that I've read because he's so mysterious, but yet you understand him, but yet there's parts that you don't, you speculate about, and Isayama keeps you in mystery. I mean, Eren's still mysterious. Like, even after part 2 is over and we've been with him so long, he's still mysterious because we don't really get enough inside his head to kind of know what he's thinking, but then we don't really get in his head to really understand his soul. Like a lot of shonen protagonists, I know that Attack on Titan is not necessarily shonen, but a lot of shonen protagonists, you get that inner, like you get to see inside their soul, and you know, you get to see the inner workings of what they're thinking and how they feel about things. Eren, you don't really get that. You kind of do. You get enough to where you can relate, to where you can empathize, to where you can understand, but you don't really get inside of his soul like you do other main characters, which is intriguing to me. And I feel like Isayama does that intentionally because we're supposed to find Eren mysterious even up until the parts that I haven't seen of this series. So that's fun. But we had a discussion in the Discord about it, that there's been some comments where people, I'm like, first of all, it's fiction. It's subjective. We don't have to like the same characters. It's okay. But one of my biggest pet peeves in comments as a creator of content is when people are like, you're wrong, and here's why. You don't understand this character, and here's why. Here's what you've not realized about the series. And I'm like, okay, whoa. I'm like, I'm a teacher. Please don't talk to me like I'm a student. But also, I'm like, unless you are Isayama yourself, unless you are Isayama coming at me and being like, Romania, you have this wrong. And if you're Isayama, I'm like, yes, you are correct, sir. Unless you're that, you're not the person to tell me that. So stop. Nothing makes me skip a comment more than when I read what you don't understand is, and I'm like, skip. Like, I'm not going to waste my time. But yeah, I've had a lot of comments where people have tried to like just defend Eren's reasoning. And I'm like, first of all, I don't feel like I should read anything defending a character until the series is completed, so I have a full overarching picture. I very well could change my mind. I had certain impressions of characters at the beginning of the series that have kind of changed over time, and I've been like, oh yeah, no, I actually kind of like that character. When we first met Magath, I didn't really care for him at all, and then he really warmed up to me as a character. Porco's character, I wasn't the biggest Porco fan, but then by the time he dies, I'm like, oh man, I really like his character. And so there are some characters I kind of warm up to over the course of a series, and that's true with other series as well. So I don't ever really want to talk about a character as a whole until I'm finished with the series, because again, you want to see the whole picture. But I do have some comments to talk about things and to kind of go over characters in here. But there was one comment that kind of just like grinded my gears a little bit before. I've got 3 comments I want to talk about that kind of grinded my gears. And this person was like, and again, I don't want to know hints or clues, but they were kind of like, oh, well, Eren can see into the future. So he knows that everything that he's doing is leading up to that moment. So that's why he's doing the things that he's doing. And I was like, yeah, but what we don't know at this point in the series is we know Eren has seen into the future. Grisha makes that very clear. And we know that he has seen parts of the future. What isn't made clear to us is what parts of the future has he seen and what has he not seen. And this person was trying to make a comment that Eren's seen to the very end of the series. They just don't know how they're getting there. And I'm like, I find a little issue with that. Like, in my mind, based on the anime, I thought Eren had saw up to the rumbling. Eren knows that he wants to destroy the world to save his friends. He saw up until the rumbling. And he didn't know how he got there, but he knew that the rumbling was going to happen. So that's why, we'll talk about the cover of this volume, that's why he wasn't afraid of Peak. That's why he knew he was going to get there. It was just a matter of how. And so that part makes sense. I'm like, it makes sense that Eren is doing A, B, and C to get to the rumbling because he knows that has to happen for him to achieve his goal. That part all makes sense. What doesn't make sense is if Eren sees to the very end, because I think Eren's going to die. I think Eren's going to get killed by his friends is what I think is going to happen, is because of the actions he's taken. It's going to lead to that point. And I'm like, if you saw to the end with your friends killing you and knew it was going to make them miserable, why would you go through with that if you care about them, you know? I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, I like the idea that Eren is oblivious to a lot of emotions. He doesn't comprehend socially a lot of emotions that people have. That's a character trait that I really like about Eren. He just doesn't get it. Like, he doesn't understand romance. He doesn't understand the concept of, oh, you love that person like that? I don't know how that means. I get that Eren's kind of like a serial killer. He doesn't understand these emotions, right? But if he knows that he's going to die in the end and his friends are going to have to kill him and he's doing all this to do that, there's a lot of things and a lot of steps. Then why make fun of your friends in the last volume and make them, like, hate you? Is that to make them kill him? I'm like, what? But you know that they that part doesn't make sense to me, and that part's stupid. I'm like, no, I don't like that at all. So if it is Eren, because Grisha kind of says, you know, I've seen what's going to happen and it's terrifying, which is the rumbling and Eren leading them to destroy the world. That part makes sense. I understand that Eren wanted to get, I don't agree with it. I don't think it's a great idea, but I understand that that's why Eren's doing A, B, and C to get to that point because he knows he has to. But if he's knows that he's got to become the enemy, and has to lead his friends to kill him so that he can be the enemy that leads to world peace. One, that kind of goes against his whole notion that he's not a slave, because he tells Armin and Mikasa, he's like, well, I'm doing what I want to do. I'm free. Are you? And maybe that's the point. And that he's not, and he knows it. But it's just that's dumb. I like the idea that Eren goes into this causing the rumbling and the end of the world, but thinks that that's going to save his friends, and he's going to go back and everything's going to be hunky-dory, even though we, the audience, know that that's not true. I like that concept and understand it, even though there's so many problems with it, it makes sense. The other side of it, of him knowing till the very end of the story, does not make sense. At least from the place that I'm at right now. Now, again, we could get to the end of the anime and suddenly it all makes sense. And I'm hoping that it does. I'm sure that it does. So I don't want anybody being like, oh, just wait, Romania, it'll all be explained. Please don't do that. But let me have faith that I will find answers. But that comment just kind of irked me, and I've spent too much time talking about it already, so I'm not going to spend any much time. Basically, I told the mods, I was like, if there's anybody in the comments from here on in that's like, you don't understand Eren, I'm just going to ignore that comment because it's not worth wasting my time, and I want to go into the final part feeling like I'm blind and understanding Eren from a point of what I know right now from the series, and I want to enjoy it. So, and I don't want people dampening my spirits. I was afraid when we got to this point that there'd be some comments start to pour in where people were going to start getting all correcty, and I'm like, let me find out answers myself. But I'm going to quit nagging. Christopher Peterson talks about the phrase, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Talking about how Eren has a full understanding of what he's doing and why it's wrong. But I liked the way that Christopher Peterson phrased this. Because, yeah, Eren knows what he's doing is wrong, but he still continues to do it. And I like this contrast where Christopher Peterson notes that characters like Magath and Gabi can see the flawed perspectives that they have and see it in a new light, and they course correct. They're like, oh, I was looking at this wrong. I'm going to change my ways now to correct that, right? and change perspectives. But Eren doesn't do that. Eren does not look at something and go, oh, I was wrong about that. And instead he goes, well, that's a valid opinion, but I'm still right. And I'm like, ah. And so, but Christopher Peterson points out, at this point, could anything change Eren's mind? Eren's made up his decision. He's made up his mind. He's going to do what he wants. The world is now the underdog, and maybe that's why we root for it, because it's like, well, the world's going to be destroyed. And maybe, I liked Christopher Peterson's notion of just put a friend on each continent. Put Armin over in South America, put Mikasa up in Europe, put here, and then Eren will be like, oh, well, damn, I can't destroy the world because my friends are on each continent. Good work. Good work. But yeah, I like that idea that Eren just doesn't course correct. He's like, no, I got to move forward and do this. But I'm like, everyone else in the series has reflected and realized, oh, I maybe need to change this part of my way. And Eren's like, I'm going to steamroll my way through. No, I can't be wrong if there's no one to correct me. And it's like, Rising Cloud notes that I like this comment by Rising Cloud. Reiner gets to become the shonen hero. He was saved by the cries of children, and he saves Porco, the brother of Marcel, who gave his life to give him the ability, and Porco, who was chastising him about it. I was like, that's so true. Reiner gets to live out his ultimate fantasy of being the hero, and he doesn't even realize it. It's like, oh man, like Reiner gets to be the shonen hero in that volume, and then it's like, what do we do? And then finally, Alex Johnson. I really liked this parallel. In chapter 98, Reiner's strategies were brushed aside by Marleyan officers. And then 10 chapters later, Magath brings only Eldians to the table and listens to Reiner, and they plot out the plan to go and try to get to Eren before the rest of the world catches up. And it makes all the difference, right? So I like that. I like that Magath took in mind all the considerations he wanted to. And I like that Alex pointed out that in the chapter where Reiner was getting dismissed, you could tell Magath was frustrated by that, being like, Reiner's like, these are the soldiers on the front lines. We should listen to them. And then when Magath is put in charge, then he actually, enacts that. So I was like, cool, neat. But yeah, I just want to find out for myself. And I feel like a lot of people try to correct me along the way. And if people clarify something that I missed that has no bearing on the future of the series, like the stuff I haven't seen, if I missed a detail that affects the story now where I'm at, that's fine. Like if people point out, they're like, oh, hey, did you notice this one thing Reiner did and how it impacted, like the parallel thing that Alex Johnson pointed out. I'm like, oh, I didn't notice that. That's really cool. And that adds another layer to it. I'm fine with those clarifications. But if people are like, well, you don't understand this character because later on you're going to find out, I don't want to hear none of that. No. We're too close. I've come too far. I've been with the series for like 2 years and I haven't been spoiled because I've been like limiting myself on whatever I can see. And it's like, So yes, I've come too far and we're too close to the end. So that's what I got to do. But I've talked enough. I'm ready to start this volume and see what fresh fun we get. So sorry y'all had to hear me nagging, but it needed to be said. I needed to get it off my shoulders, right? So we're going to start volume 29 of Attack on Titan, and we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. This cover is weird to me. I don't know how to feel about it. I like the concept of it. I like the idea of Peak and Reiner and Porco, the Marleyan warriors with Magath there. I like that concept there. And then you have Zeke, like buff daddy brother. At least Isayama put some pants on him. Standing there next to Yelena. Yelena's having the time of her life being that close to Zeke. And then there's Flock and Louisa. I like the concept of this cover. And I like the idea of Peak with the gun to Eren's head. I like the idea that Eren has his hands in his pocket. Like you don't know what he's doing with his hands. It makes him seem more guarded and mysterious. I like it. It's just the way that it's drawn. Something about it is weird to me. And maybe it's Peak in the way she's drawn. Maybe it's Eren. There's just something artistically about the cover that just doesn't sit right with me. And I can't place it. So it's probably one of my least favorite covers of a manga, if I'm being honest, from this series. But I'm not going to diss Isayama for it. They did fine. It's just one of my least favorite covers that we've had so far. Support. Above and Below, Judgment and Sneak Attack. So we are basically transitioning from season 4 part 1 into season 4 part 2. That's fun. We are transitioning into that. Good times. And Eren with the gun to his head. And see, this part makes sense to me because Eren knows at this point that the rumbling's going to happen. So he's not afraid of Peak. Right. Okay, we got everybody on here. All the folks there. The gang's all here. Annie's still inside the little chrysalis. And there's everybody. Cool. Nice. Oh, this is where Hanji finds Levi. The Thunder Spear. Uh-huh. I like that Flock says, if we head towards the sound, we'll find something. And Hanji's like, you're a real Sherlock. You're a real detective, sir. Oh, man. Oh. Oh, not the horses. Not the horses. Damn it. Oh. Shit. Isayama has got it against the horses in this series, I tell you. And then, man, Zeke, just like his entrails and everything. Can we talk about how the art that Isayama has done has improved so much over the course of this series? I remember I used to make fun of how Isayama drew horses. Not that I can draw a horse any better, but it was just kind of cute. And now it's like this realistic horse and like the guts and everything. Like Isayama's gotten so good. Oh, I'm gonna die after all. And the flowers. Kind of like, interesting, kind of like Ymir seeing the flowers. That we saw the flowers before Ymir met the founder. Zeke sees the flowers here. That's interesting. My research on memory. I haven't revealed them to Marley. He imposed his vow renouncing war in order to seal away the founding Titan. There's a way to overcome it. You are the method. You can draw out the founding Titan's powers by coming in contact with the one who possesses them. Oh, but you can't wield them. Uh-huh. Someone you can entrust with the founder. Someone who'd understand our euthanization plan. Oh my gosh! Yes! I don't remember if the anime reveals this just yet. But the idea that Zeke's like, you can't wield the powers, but you can draw them out by coming in contact. Huh. So, Zeke goofed. Zeke picked Eren. Like, oh, Eren will understand my plan. In the words of Reiner, Eren is the worst person to have the Founder's powers. And now Zeke's going to find that out. Someone you can trust. You'll be able to find someone. I wish my dogs wouldn't bark. I'll always be watching over you, Zeke. And he called Cassava his father. Ugh. It's really sad. Super sad. Why did he have to be nude for it? Why we saw with Armin. I don't think you had to be nude, but maybe I'm wrong. Why not? Why not? So sad. And then, yep. Oh! He picked up the little boat with Yelena. Oh! Marley's grown brazen and over in neighboring countries, just as the Eldian Empire once did. They've grown addicted to the power of the Titans. Oh, and Yelena's like, oh my god! But the thing about it is that Zeke is like, oh, well, it's because of the power of the Titans they've become brazen. I'm like, well, yes. The thing about it is that you're looking at the Titan powers as like that of a nuclear weapon, which is a very apt analogy for it. The problem is, in real life, nuclear weapons aren't human. They don't have personas. They don't have souls. They're just literally weapons. And here, Isayama makes them human. And that adds a whole nother complexity and layer of problematic elements to the situation. Like, well, it's one thing to say, oh, we're going to get rid of a bunch of nukes. Fine. Great. Do it. But it's another thing to say we're going to get rid of a bunch of nukes that are actually people. Then it's like, oh, well, they have souls and consciousness and dreams and aspirations and intelligence. That makes it more complicated, right? But it's also like the idea that Zeke just assumes that Marley is only like this because they have the power of the Titans. If they had different weapons, would they be any different? You know? And our motherland was stolen from us. It doesn't have to stay that way. We can overthrow Marley. We'll use the Titans to defeat Marley. Ah, the weakness of allowing oneself to be consumed by that power. We shouldn't abhor the Titan's power, but the weakness of being consumed by it. Which is very interesting because Armin is kind of a great example of someone that doesn't rely upon that power at all. Armin, like, rarely becomes the Colossus Titan. And a lot of people I've seen in the comments be like, I hate Armin because he doesn't use the Colossus Titan's power. And I'm like, that's the point. that's Isayama likes him as a character because he doesn't do that. But I find it interesting that Zeke is just kind of here on the sidelines saying like, well, the same old song and dance, like I saved Yelena, but we're still not solving the problem. They're still going to use the Titans. It's just in a different mean, right? And then that's when Zeke says Eren Yeager. He has the founding Titan. And that's when Zeke's like, his father was a doctor. And then, oh my God, Zeke! Him seeing that, oh my gosh, him realizing that it was Grisha. Oh, that's so good. Yes. That we got this in the anime, but it's neat seeing the manga interactions like this. It's neat seeing the manga panels like this. So that father was alive. Oh, I like that he says Grisha and Kasavo as two different fathers, right? That father. He stole the founding Titan from the king and fed it to his son. Oh. Eren is my little brother. And he's had the same things done to him that were done to me. Except it wasn't like that at all. He's brainwashed you. And someday I'll come to save you. Except that's not what happened. Not really. Oh. You've started to resemble our father quite a bit. Yeah, Eren does look a lot like Grisha, but he also looks like Carla. There's definitely a difference. You understand. Do you support my plan for the euthanization of all Eldians? And I like that Eren doesn't answer the question. He says 4 years ago something happened that opened our old man's memories to me. The memory of when he slaughtered the royal family of the walls. He took their young children and smashed and smeared them like bugs. I remember how they felt. Our old man killed children to fully secure the founding Titan from the king of the walls, but you told him to do that! All to win and bring freedom to Eldia. Oh. And how did that make you feel, Eren? I was like, Eren encouraged Grisha to do that. That is the point. He says, if those children were still alive, I'd be eaten by now and the founder would be back in the hands of the royal family. We'd be bound by the vow renouncing war and humanity inside the walls would be dead. The deaths of those children allowed us to live. Which is, the selfishness of it all. So you thought father was right. No. Our old man was mistaken. Since he raised me, that makes me just another one of his mistakes. But I'm like, it's interesting that he says our old man was mistaken because Eren does think Grisha was wrong. Grisha wasn't going to attack the family and Eren encouraged him to do it, right? But Zeke doesn't know that. But this line here that Eren says, I was another one of his mistakes, it is interesting because there is a little bit of truth there. Like, again, Pixis says all lies have a little bit of truth mixed in them. Eren doesn't believe that he deserves to exist, right? He believes he's a monster. So that part is interesting to see him say. If the Eldians in this town had never been born, none of them would have to die in the plan we're about to carry out. There'd be no suffering and no deaths. Having been born, never having been born is the greatest salvation. I'll put an end to the 2,000 years of history under Titan domination. Until that day comes, we'll move forward. Isn't that right, brother? But Eren's such a good liar because I want to see the ball being thrown. Yes. Precisely, Eren. Uh-huh. Let's do this instead. And we don't get to see Eren not catching the ball yet. That's so good. That's so good. We're going to save everyone. Lies! We're going to destroy everyone! Oh, look at Ymir! Our first glimpse of her. Oh, nice. Nice! There she be. Oh. And the Titan. It almost looks like angelic there, which is so... The anime did not make it look that angelic at all. Oh. Oh. This is probably one of the weirdest moments of the entire series, because I'm like, we've never seen a Titan do this. And there's the obvious symbolism of rebirth and the womb, and you can go into all the symbolism we went into the anime about it. But it's still one of the weirdest moments, because like, we never really see a Titan doing it. I guess the closest we get to a Titan revering or doing something like this is with Ilsa, the one Titan that put her corpse in the tree. That's about the closest we get to this, so... But it's such a weird moment. Meanwhile... It's like we're doing the same thing that we did that Marley was. This is one of the most frustrating things. Is that at this point, I'm like, Eren is not focused on parody. Not really. He's just focused on getting the rumbling so he can save the 5 friends that he has. He doesn't really care about anything else on parody. And what we see happening is the idea of them putting the ties on the ones that have drank wine and the ones that aren't Jaegerists and things like that, and identifying them the same way that the Marleyans were identifying the Eldians. So again, even if Eren's whole plan succeeds and there's only those on parody left, the damage has already been done, where there's already this riff and this discrimination and this mindset on the island that even if he saves them, what are we going to do about that, you know? What are we going to do about that? It seems I was right. Wouldn't you agree, Pixis? I like that Yelena's like, see, we did have dinner. Look at us. Look at us going through this. And then Pixis is like, yep, you betrayed us. My son and I drank the wine. Yeah, getting this guy. I like that Pixis kind of gives him like some grumbliness, being like, what's going on? And there's much to learn from the enemy. It was your people who refused to let us join you. Am I wrong? I like this conversation between Pixis and Yelena. It's interesting, her having this. And she gets like the big goblet. If you put faith in us and Zeke from the beginning, we could have saved the world by now. Ah, and then I like that Pixis is like, did you just say the world? Aren't you doing a small-scale rumbling? That would only save this island, would it not? And then I like that Anyan's like, come on now. Oh, I love the way that Yelena is drawn there at the bottom panel. The way that Yelena is drawn throughout this is so good. Like, Isayama has a lot of fun with her. And I love, like, just her guarded, like, body language there. Zeke is the god who will save this world. Oh my god, Yelena. Biggest fangirl. And then we cut straight to Levi. Oh my god. Oh. There's body parts everywhere. And that's when she sees Levi. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. And you see that he's got the fingers missing from holding the blade. Yeah. Oh. I like that Flock's like, I know how to take a pulse. Let me see him. And Hanji's like, son of a bitch. Why can't you be good? Oh, okay. Oh, we're about to see Zeke in all his glory. Yes. Yes. Oh my god. And the light shining down. Oh my god. Isayama, what well-placed smoke you have there. That smoke hangs a little low, don't you think? I just love it. We were talking in the Discord about Isayama does not do a lot of female fan service, but I'm here for this. I just flip the script. And Hanji's like, I gotta get out of here. And then boosh, bye. And Flock's like, what happened? He's like, I don't know. A girl I don't know was creating my body by kneading clay. I felt like I'd been there for years, but then it was over in an instant. And that's the path. Yeah. Oh, nice. Love it. And I like the Flock's like, excuse me, what are we talking about? He's like, let's go. We have to keep moving forward. Isn't that right, Eren? Oh my God. Yep. Oh, Zeke. Zeke. He got a haircut and got his hot body restored, you know. Not attracted to Zeke. Meanwhile, Gabi in the prison, but they're devils. I don't get it. I like that Gabi has been left alone, but here, this is the difference. Here, now that Gabi's been left alone, she's thinking over thoughts, and she's looking at thinking the family, like, and rationalizing her emotions and being like, so why? She's like, why were they crying, but they're evil, but why were they displaying emotions like mine? And instead of her being vengeful, she's trying to think and understand why were they like that. And then Eren shows up, and I like that he doesn't call her Gabi. He calls her the brat who killed Sasha. When I'm like, you are projecting, sir. You are responsible for Sasha's death, too. Just saying. I feel like, again, going with the last volume, Eren projects a lot of his insecurities about himself onto other people. Like the idea, you know, going back to the conversation with Mikasa and Armin, the idea of Mikasa just following orders. Eren followed orders a damn lot in the beginning of the series, and so he's projecting that. The idea of being influenced by memories. Eren is influenced by Grisha's memories, so he's, you know, projecting that onto Armin. And here, with Gabi, Eren is partially responsible for Sasha dying too, but he's projecting it onto Gabi instead. Right? And the fact that he says, help me if you want to save Falco, I'm like, you just use her and use that as a excuse. Peek, there we go. And Peek being like, don't move. You're Eren Yeager, right? I love Peek's like, yeah, nah. Peek is so badass. I love her. And then, take your hands out of your pockets. Obviously, his hands are cut, right? I know you won't shoot. You don't have permission to kill the founding titan. You have to retrieve them. Eren's face is so scary there with his eyes. His eyes being so bright. Oh my God. I love it. Oh. Were you to commit a breach of military law, your family internment zone would pay the price with you. Eren is very scary there because he knows exactly what he's doing, and he knows that they're not going to shoot him for all the reasons that he says. But I love Peek in this moment where she's like, oh, I can't do it, sorry. Peek is taking a page out of Zeke's handbook. She knows how to play the part really interestingly, and I like that Eren just kind of looks a little confused in this moment. Like, his eyes soften just a hair, and he's like, He's like, I don't know how to read you. She thought you might be able to defeat Marley. Meanwhile, we go back to Connie and them. Like, are we just going to sit here with our teapots and tea kettles and cups? And Niccolo's like, well, at least I can make y'all some tea. Like, did Eren just supply them with all the stuff here and expect them just to hang out while he did the rumbling and went and destroyed the world? He's like, I got you some tea, some cookies. You guys just hang out. I'm going to go destroy the world and then I'm going to come back. And then I like that Armin's like, I can't really become the Colossus Titan because it would destroy everything. And Eren knows I'm not going to do that. It's not agile. And I like the moment he says Eren, him and Mikasa kind of look at each other like, are we going to talk about this? And then Jean's like, okay, tell us why Eren hurt you. Like, come on. Jean's like, I'm going to use my not psychology degree. And then when Jean says he hurt Mikasa, I like that Jean is like, excuse me, what is happening? Why? Because Jean likes Mikasa. He's like, what are we going on about? And he's like, tell me how you hurt her. Oh, Jean. I'm like, yes. And Connie's like, isn't that enough? He's lost sight of who he was to the point he'd hurt the two people he cared about the most. And I like that, Connie's just mad about the whole situation, but I like that Jean says, well, if he was in his right mind, I don't see him doing that without a reason. Does he have a hidden motive? I like that Jean is playing Eldian advocate for Eren, being like, well, he's a piece of shit, but he wouldn't just hurt you for no reason. And then Yelena shows up. And Anyan's like, look, Zeke and Eren have to come in contact. And Jean's like, good for you. You must be pleased. Yep, and now you have Eldia and the power of the Founder and the Titan. You can destroy Marley and get revenge on your motherland. And I like that Anyan talks about, how they were helping with this island. And then Niccolo talks in as well. Oh man, Niccolo going after Anyan, yes. And then Jean holding him back. Oh. And him talking bad about Sasha. Oh, shit. Oh. I'm glad that wasn't for a hot second. I thought that was Anyan saying that. And then Yelena's like, nope, we're not going to have this. He was rude. The island has no need for anyone who would curse you as devils. Our purpose is nothing as hollow as revenge on Marley. Our goal is to save Eldia, but Marley as well. Okay, and then the euthanization plan. As we see that guy's guts and brains blown on the side of the pavement. I like that Armin kind of stood up there like he was getting ready to stand up. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we're going to explain the euthanization plan. Fun times. Meanwhile, Peak is trying to convince Eren that she wants to get her father out of the internment zone and to free the Eldians, needing to crush Marley. And she's like, I'll do anything if it means slaughtering all the Marleyans. And the thing about it is, again, there are truths within lies. I do believe that Peak would love to save her father and that she doesn't like the Marleyans. And so there is some truth to that as she looks at Eren, right? And now Gabi's like, everybody's betraying me. What have we been fighting for? If the world recognized we were good Eldians, wouldn't we be free? You're the same as Zeke. We're subjects of Ymir. It's our one escapable truth. And she, oh my gosh, her getting right up in Gabi's face. That even Marley will be done with us and they'll kill us all. Prove as many times as you want that you're a good Eldian. You'll never be free. We have to win our human rights for ourselves. And then Eren reveals his hand that has the tiny little cut. Show me your proof. I'll show you where my allies are hiding in this town. If we go to the roof, I'll point them out. And then Eren heals himself. I like that Eren's just like, fine. What a badger face. What a little badger face. I do like that Ymir is like, look, we can't just be nice and expect to be freed. We have to win our human rights for ourselves. I do like that little bit of activism of her saying, and that activism, I mean, obviously it's in a different context in this story, but in real life, it's like you can't just be nice and expect things to just happen to you. It's the idea of why people protest and why people why they're advocates and why they make signs, why they picket, why they show up and, demand and have their voices heard. They can't just sit down and be good and expect those people to just change their minds. They have to speak up and communicate and riot and protest to get those rights established. And that's happened throughout history, right? It's happened through at least in the US, it's happened through civil rights. It's happened during the AIDS crisis in the 80s, people standing up and saying something about it, because being silent does nothing. So yeah, I like that Peak points that out to Gabi. And then we cut back to no children being born. No more pain will come to this world due to the existence of the Titans. And again, I feel like this is a sign of how Isayama is also not on board with the euthanization plan, because again, as she's saying slowly and peacefully, there's a guy with his brains being picked up off the pavement as he's being hauled away. Seems like a subtle little symbolic moment. And Jean's saying, how is that peaceful? if you keep shrinking the population of the subjects of Ymir until we vanish, all that's left of this country in the last few years are a handful of senile fools. How do we protect our country? Will everyone else just conveniently ignore us? And Yelena's like, well, the rumbling will be a deterrent force. So the founder and the royal family have to be maintained. Queen Astoria has been blessed with a successor. So long as a few subjects of Ymir inherit the founding titan until that child passes from this world. And John's like, you think that's foolproof? Also, it becomes clear at this point that Eren was not on board with that plan because he didn't want Historia to get involved. You know, foolproof. No nation can boast those things. All countries have their problem, but I'm certain of one thing. The threat of the Titans, the history of blood and tears. This country has put two men who can put an end to all of it. Zeke and Eren. There will be many millennia left in human history. But will anyone ever appear who could accomplish such a feat? And the brothers will be spoken of as symbols for thousands of years to come, just as we today speak of ancient gods. And then I like that it almost seems like Armin is laughing in that moment because he's like, this is just bullshit and no. But then he tries to pass it off as being moved. But Armin's a good liar, so... And Yelena's like, I'm glad. And so then, yeah. And then that's when the intruders thing... That whole part of Armin, like, laughing / crying in that moment is interesting because Armin... Again, Eren said that he doesn't, you know... He's not the person he used to be. And I'm like, no, Armin's grown and matured. But that moment there kind of contradicts Eren, saying like, no, Armin is kind of the same sort of manipulator he's always been. He just has a better understanding of the world than he did before. Right? And then the base being infiltrated. Oh, poor Falco. And then there's Eren with everybody else. And they're chained together. She'll come around soon. I want to see if Porco's there. Yeah, he is! There he is! Oh my gosh, you can see him in the crowd! Yay! You can barely see him. He's just right there. Nice. And then Eren says that he had some of Zeke's spinal fluid. And both Gabi and Peek are like, And then that's when Gabi's like, it was my fault. Oh. And then I like that Eren's like, I don't know why Zeke has that ability, do you? And she's like, no one knew except for Zeke. I thought he was always telling lies. When he saw you, I heard what it sounds like when Zeke tells the truth. I'll come to save you. If he wouldn't lie to you, then surely he told you the secret of his power. I like what Peek does here. Peek does a bunch of things in this moment. She not only confirms that Zeke has compassion towards Eren legit, but she also plants this little seed of being like, well, maybe Zeke's not telling you something. Maybe Zeke's not keeping you in the full know like he should. And she does a lot of things in this moment, but it's like just playing that little seed of doubt in Eren to be like, do you really know Zeke? She's like, I've known him for years, but do you? But he doesn't answer the question. I love Peek saying, oh, you shaved the goatee. I thought it looked great on you. It's far too dangerous to trust this woman, but the feeling's mutual. Oh my God. I love that Peek just gets that little dig in. Those of you that ship them, I get it. All right. And then where's Zeke? Okay. Oh my gosh. This is where this season ended. Where is the enemy? Oh, and Eren just being ready. I love this moment. Oh, I love Peek squeezing her hand. Huckleberry Ruby. There. Yes. Yes. Oh my God. I love it. That is one of my favorite moments in the whole season, was just her being like, you are the enemy. Oh my God. And Eren being like, this is angry badger face. Yes. Nice. And there's the jaw titan. Oh, man. Eren just dodged it. Just dodged getting eaten by Porco. Wouldn't that have been something if Porco ate Eren in that moment? Would have ruined the whole series, but you know. I love it. Yes. Oh my god. Oh. And then ate his legs off. I love that Isayama gives us like Eren like losing his legs, but we still get the shot of abs no matter what. We still get the ab shot. Oh my god. Isayama's like, I know I just had Eren get hurt, but here's some abs to make you feel better. Oh my god. That's a great perspective. That's hard to draw, so good for Isayama. Also, Eren transforming when he got his legs bitten off, is that a little bit of a plot contrivance? Whatever. We'll go with it. We'll go with it. Yep. And she's like, Peek, you're not a traitor. Did you think I would sell out my friends? Oh. I don't trust Marley. And I pray that the Eldians will be freed. But I do trust those that have fought beside me. Uh-huh. And then, yep. And then Reiner and Eren. Oh my god. Ah! Yep, there we go. Okay. The Titans have started to move. I love Armin. Like, you can see the gears turning in Armin's head. Like, that's still one of my favorite OP shots is where there's the one candle and the light goes out and Armin's the one, like, thinking about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that we have all of them looking up together. All right. Oh, the artwork of this. Mm-hmm. Damn. Okay, and then the tanks. Yep, the anti-Titan tanks. Judgment. So we started part 2. All right. And then there's Eren. I still don't understand. Whatever. Eren having his legs bitten off, but still transforming. I guess it was in midpoint. Oh, and then her being like Porco, and then her losing the hand. This was one of like the dark humor moments of the series where Peek's just like this. Isayama, you would. And she's like, oh no. And then like jumps down with her. And then comes back up as the cart titan. There we go. There we go. Oh, nice. And like grabs Gabi and goes, as the hand is just like attached to the chain. How'd they make a dangerous decision? Well, Reiner. Yeah. Yes. And then I like that Eren does not listen to like Yelena. He's like, nope. I'm gonna do things my way. It's like Limp Bizkit starts playing. It's my way or the highway. Like it's just Eren just walking away and Yelena's like, what? And then Reiner, again, with the cut on the hand. Same as Eren. These two, I swear. The only Marleyan to get the Marleyan army to do something this stupid. Yep. And Yelena's like, Eren, why? Because Reiner, that's why. Oh my god. And here we go. He came for us. Oh, and Gabi realizing that it was Reiner. Oh, and Magath. Mm-hmm. Who ordered you to enter enemy territory? Going off on your own. And then Colt's like, where's Falco? Oh my god. And yeah, the fear on Magath and Colt's face when they realize what's happened with Falco. Magath looks terrified. That is, oh, nope. I like that Peek's voice, like the voice bubbles are very different for Peek of doing it. And Amy might use the Founder's power. I don't know. But it's the ace up their sleeve. I like that as Isayama has drawn the Cart Titan, they've slowly become a little bit more and more feminine as the series has gone. Like the way that the lips are drawn on the Cart Titan, the way that the hair is positioned, it looks more and more like Peek. And I feel like Isayama's just subconsciously done that as the series has gone on, unintentionally. Is there a condition to use it? Yep. Zeke's a Titan of royal blood. Mm-hmm. And that's when Gabi kind of reveals like what's going on so they know more about it. I love the idea of Magath just popping up on Peek and being like, we're going to end the 100 years of hostility. Blah. Meanwhile, oh my god, Reiner and Eren. I feel like it's been forever since Isayama has drawn a fight scene like this. It's at least been since season 3. It's been a while. And then Porco coming in. But Eren has eaten the Warhammer Titan, so now it's not going to be so easy. You'll pay for making me into a toy nutcracker! Oh my gosh. But then no, all the spikes. Yeah, because they've eaten the Warhammer. Oh. The Thunder Spears. Oh. Oh my god. And then Cart Titan's like, well, nope, I got this cannon, see? Yeah. Magath, you mean General. Ah, Magath and Peak are such a force. But then it's like, it's just, this part was so frustrating because it's just the Survey Corps Marlins, like everybody just people dying left and right over and over again. It's like, it's awful. It's very hard to watch. And then Yelena is like, Eren, you're different from the rest. You're special. He is special indeed, that's for sure. And then, yep, this surprise attack stands on Willie Tiber's sacrifice. Oh my god, what we need is a hero who will save the world. I'm like, do we need a hero that's going to save the world? Ugh. It is brutal, y'all. This is like eyeballs are flying everywhere. There's like people getting impaled. It is just brutal. And then Eren just screaming. Oh my gosh, that face of Eren's. Oh, where he's like, no, Reiner, I did not come all this way. I did not do all the things that I've done for you to kill me. Not yet. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. Eren's like, nope. Oh. Oh. And then there's Yelena's face. Oh my god, Yelena with like the sparkles in her eyes. The Wonder Child. I'm a little late. Oh. That look, though. Leave the rest to your big brother. Oh my god. The way that Isayama draws that page is so freaking good. But it's like, there's two different emotions going on there. There's like Zeke rising up and being like, I'm going to be the big bro that I've always wanted to be. And you'll be proud of me, little bro. And Eren, honestly, Eren doesn't look exactly happy to see Zeke there because Eren knows that Zeke could cause a lot of problems. And it's almost like Eren wanted to go find Zeke on his own away from all of this. But here we are. Sneak attack. Man, we're already here. Oh my god. Ah! Oh my god! Ah, Yelena! That shot there where Yelena's seeing like Zeke ram all the Zeppelins and destroy them. That's probably one of my favorite shots from that episode. Oh my god, that just, oh. That's an amazing panel. Amazing. Okay. And then meanwhile, there's Flock coming in and Cart going across the wall. And Porco, yeah, Porco and Reiner are like, oh, yeah, it hit his head. Oh, God, Reiner's just a mess. Surprising no one. And he's going towards Zeke. Oh, and Gabi, I'm going to rescue Falco. I love her eyes, like how they're drawn there. I dragged Falco into this, and he saved me so many times. I can't run for it after all the trouble I've caused him. And then right under it is Falco. Oh. Oh. I do love Niall being with Falco during all of this. Right? The Marlene army would never save an Eldian. Don't you have family? I doubt I'll ever see my wife and daughters again. Oh, I hated this line of Niall where he's like, all Zeke has to do is scream and I become a monster. And I had so much I wanted to tell my girls too. That's so sad. Like that's, I hate that Niall doesn't get to see wife and kids again. That's so sad. Like, damn it. This is why you shouldn't drink alcohol, folks. Sobriety will keep you from turning into a Titan. And then Anyan. Okay. Eren is taking them all on by himself. Marley will steal the founder from us. You've got to help. We have to defend Eren together. And I like that at this point they're all like, okay, so we defend Eren, who has physically assaulted Armin, who's verbally assaulted Mikasa, who Connie hates, who's not been communicative with any of them. But we're going to defend him. Cool. All right. And then, yeah, Connie, this is your battle. Uh-huh. I'm tired of being betrayed by Reiner, by Bertolt, by Annie, by Eren. I'm sick of it. Why should we have to help Eren just so none of us can ever have kids? And Armin's like, hold on, Connie. I know you're mad. We're all kind of weirded out by this, but hold on. And Niccolo's like, yeah, no, he's probably telling the truth. He's like, I don't want the euthanization. I just want to help Parity develop so that we can destroy Marley together. But again, it's like, it's like every plan in this series involves the destruction of someone else. Instead of saying, oh, I want to help Parity develop so that we can communicate with the rest of the world and foster relations with one another. Instead, there's always that level of violence and destruction with each of everyone's plans. Nobody has that one plan of helping others to develop and foster relationships. Nobody has that on the table, right? Which is why it's so frustrating. We believe the island had a future. Children are that future. If the euthanization plan was carried out, what were we fighting for? And Armin's like, yeah, no, that makes sense. And again, what's so interesting is that throughout this series, Armin has been one who in many situations has been the one to hold up a hand. Now, I know Eren has held up a hand for Armin too, but Armin has always been the one reaching down, holding up the hand. Armin extends the hand and is like, let's do this together, and fosters that relationship. Right? Armin does that constantly throughout this series. And he's the one character that is constantly trying to like build a relationship between himself and others. Which is why I love his character so much. So what do? We can stop their plan. What are you saying we should do? We show the world the power of the rumbling at least once. And Mikasa's like, I want to save Eren, but it's like Eren said, it's only because I'm an Ackerman. This isn't my own will. And Armin's like, that's a lie. Yeah. He's like, making it so no other Eldian can have a child. Do you think Eren would want that? And John's like, well, yeah, it does seem unlike him, but I didn't think it was impossible. And Armin's like, we're talking about Eren. He doesn't have to. Eren's the one who decides how he uses the founder's power, right? Saying when Yelena brought him the idea to him, he didn't have a choice. There's no telling what she would have done to get her way if he refused. But if he can make her think he was on their side by agreeing to, he could protect the island with the rumbling. And the time for him to activate the rumbling is now, when the majority of the forces are allied under Marley. He just has to follow the plan and awaken hundreds of Titans inside the Shiganshina's wall. If he can annihilate the most powerful military force the world has to offer, nobody's going to touch Parity for the next 50 years. I like Mr. Brown saying, can we head home yet? Mr. Brass is like, yeah, okay, this all is a bunch of BS. Can we go home? Can we leave here? Love it. Love it. Jean saying, I've been saying he's been a threat from the time I was in the training corps. Eren is going to lead us into hell. He's a bastard. And I was jealous of that bastard because he was so cool. It pisses me off, but I don't want him dying just yet. And if he died now, I'd never get a chance to beat him up. Yeah, and Armin's saying like he's a bastard, and Armin's like, yeah, I know, but here we are. Okay. And I like that Jean leaves Niccolo with the family. If Eren is hiding his intentions, why would he push us away from him? Why would he say he hated me? And that's when Armin's like, well... And Armin's like, well, it can't be. Eren can't possibly think he's going to destroy the world to save us. That couldn't possibly be it. Armin's like, that would trash on my dream, and my friend Eren wouldn't do that, would he? Fuck your dream, Armin. Yeah. He's like, we've known since Eren and I have known since we were little about the headaches you get all the time. He just used that to give more credence to his lie. His only option was to tell that lie anyway. We can ask him about it once this is all over. Yeah. Okay. All right. So then we have, yep, everybody here. And everybody's getting out. And Shadis, I fought a bear. Forget about me. Go. Oh, Mr. Shadis. And, yep, Pixis. I did have a little too much to drink. So, yep, and then we get everybody together for this, and then Louisa. Yep. You're leaving the scarf. I am. But Louisa, of course, is going to take it, right? And then Yelena just sitting on top of the rooftop, not being a crazy person. No, no, no. Mm-hmm. The moment that will change history is near. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I'm like, God, he's like, do they really need our help? Yeah, why is Zeke here? And then she suggests that Levi and Hanji are dead. And Armin's like, the only way for Zeke and Eren to save the world, we have to join the Aegis and help put them together. Oh, we're going to get the panel. Oh, the face! That is terrifying, Isayama! What are you doing? Please help Eren and Zeke. I believe in you, Armin. What I love about that moment is that we know Armin has lied so much in this series for the sake of getting things to work out. And in this moment, Yelena's like, gee, I hope you're not lying to hurt me. And Armin's like, shit. Like, she could really be a threat. She could kill me. Oh my God, that face. That face is everything. Ah! Okay. And then what do we do with the iron pipe? Yep, the anti-Titan rifle. Oh my God, all of this. With Niall. Yep. Oh. We'll just have to fight. And that is when Gabi says, wait. Yep. This is no place for a child. Go back home. Mr. Niall, thank you. That moment where Gabi stops Colt and tells him to wait. And because they waited, Niall was able to get Falco back without anyone noticing. And Niall did what Mr. Browse has wanted everybody to do. Niall was like, I'm the adult. You let me handle this. You're a kid. Get out of here. Go back home. Such a good moment. Damn it. Such a good moment. And Colt's like, why did you trust the enemy? And Gabi's like, I didn't actually trust. I just didn't want to attack anybody anymore, you know? And then Niccolo trying to get out. And Kaya says, I'm never forgiving them, and I wish I could kill them. And Gabi knows exactly how Kaya feels because Gabi felt that way for so long. Because Mr. Browse is like, they're fine. They're toughens. Oh. I remember in the anime people said that the bird cages weren't a part of the manga, that the bird cages were added in this point to like just be extra symbolism on Mappa's sake. But I really liked that. But I liked this where Gabi's like, there weren't any devils on the island, just humans. I know how Reiner feels. These people we'd never even met before. We just decided they were devils. Since the moment I climbed on that airship, it's been the same thing over and over again. And she's like, Falco, you knew, but I dragged you into this. And Falco's like, well, I helped make the attack on Liberio happen. I didn't know it was Eren. And I sent one letter after the next from him to his allies, leading to the slaughter in Liberio, so it's my fault that Udo and Zofia died. And he finally tells her, and she's like, oh. And I love this moment, too, because it's like her realizing that we've been judging these people we don't even know, and it's just been the same cycle of violence over and over again. And then Falco's like, also, I'm in love with you. Oh. I didn't want you to inherit the Armor Titan. I wanted you to live a long life so we could get married and you could be happy forever. I love that Colt's just like, oh, Oh, and he's blushing there. She's like, what are you saying? I might turn into Titan, so I wanted to get it all out there. And I love that she does the same thing he did. She rips off the armband like this is stupid. Yep. But in this moment, it's like Falco, if we're under the assumption that Eren does love Mikasa, he's like, I'm doing all of this because I wanted you to be happy and I wanted you to live, right? But I don't think Eren has realized that he loves Mikasa. So I think Falco, these 13-year-old kids are much more emotionally mature than Eren and Mikasa are at this point, right? But God, it's just like, I love they're like, and her blushing and everything. And Colt's like, well, if Zeke learns you drink the spinal fluid, he might not use his scream. Bold assumption of you, sir. But God, I just love this moment. And I'm like the one canon romance that Isayama gives us. I mean, there's Grisha and Carla and Dinah and Grisha, sure, whatevs. But like the one main ensemble character relationship that's canon is Falco and Gabi. And I'm like, what do we do? There's too many of them. A little bit more and our dream will come true. And then there's the cart titan. Oh, yep. My dear little peak. And then who killed her? Was it you? Nope. You're only getting shot with the sneak attack. And then roll credits. Magath. Oh my God. Yes. Yep. Magath's like, it's General Magath. Oh, and Yelena and Eren. Oh. Nope. And in that moment, like, you think Eren's thinking that maybe attacking Zeke like that is going to make him desperate and make him feel like he has to use the scream, which Eren's probably like, no, I don't want that to happen. It's the commander. Did you kill him? We have to hurry. Even if he has a little bit of him left, he's going to scream. And I love that Falco and Gabi are blushing, looking at each other like just blushing at each other like, well, we just confessed. We just had this shoujo moment, and now it's going to go all to hell. Damn it, son of a bitch. Oh my God. Meanwhile, in this high school cast, this is so boring. There's nothing interesting here. How long will this go on? Will my whole life be this way? Look, there's Flock. Flock's in the classroom too. What a twist. Oh, it's a zombie attack. Oh no. Oh no, Hanji's going after Petra. And then there's zombie Annie and zombie Jean. And Reiner's fighting off zombie Bertolt. Oh no, Levi had to fight zombie Erwin! No! And then zombie Connie going after Sasha. We're in a zombie series now, hurry! Run, my Dark Knight! Oh my God, oh no! Zombie Erwin's eating Levi! No! No! And then she's like, my Dark Knight! And then, oh my God, of course Eren takes out Jean and Connie. Come with me if you want to live. I'm going to destroy every last one of these zombies. I do feel ashamed about the reveal being a dream. It's just a dream. I can't take it. Why does Eren have that face? That's like the most miserable face. What? What? Oh my God. What? The last person in the world who should have this power is you, Eren. Oh my God. One man can protect the world alone for only so long. The time draws near. Oh my God. Volume 30 is going to be crazy. Volume 30 is going to be crazy. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. And it's Halloween week next week. Oh my. We might have to celebrate with that one. Oh my God. Ah! Oh man. So this volume though, y'all, this volume, oof. It was a lot. It was quite a lot indeed. It's just, Attack on Titan is so good for a number of reasons because it pits you in this mystery, like I said, of you not really knowing. I mean, in hindsight, we can go back and see like that it was pretty obvious Eren wasn't going along with Zeke's plans, but they make it very much where you suspect that, but you don't know for sure. And we get the little inklings of Armin figuring out like, oh, is Eren really going to destroy the world instead of just doing a simple rumbling? Is he going to do a big rumbling? Eren, I feel like it should have been obvious because Eren never half-asses anything, and Eren is like going to go over the top in everything he does. So a little meager rumbling? No. But we just don't suspect that, right? And so that's fun. And then I really like the idea that there's so much mystery at this point, but Isayama drives home. He's starting to drive home the central theme of the story, which is that any act of violence against another party is just furthering the cycle. And Eren's is the most extreme example of this. Like, the point of the story is that no, it's just Gabi's like, the cycle keeps continuing over and over again. We keep on destroying one party, but that doesn't solve the problem. Killing one group of people doesn't solve the problem. In Eren's case, killing the whole world doesn't solve the problem. Until you do like what Armin's doing and you join hands and you build connections with people and you understand and you talk about it, then nothing's going to change. And Gabi's starting to realize that too, right? And Gabi takes actions in this volume that not only, keeps the violence from cycling, but she's realizing and understanding why she was wrong and what she could do to course correct. And Falco, same way. So I like that Falco and Gabi become these emblems of here's how the story can change for the future. Not if Zeke's plan works, but how it could change in the future. So, but man, next volume is going to be a big one. Next volume is going to be pretty amazing. So your girl is going to have to get herself prepared. So I'm going to get prepared for volume 30 because it's going to be a big one. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts down below, what you all thought of this volume, and what you guys are thinking about the series as a whole so far, not counting the anime because I still got a ways to go. So in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back very soon with, volume 30 of Attack on Titan.